Not surprised, and welcome to a powerful new episode of RT Essentials. Dare I say that as a society, we love our superheroes. I mean, those box office numbers don't lie, friends. Just look at films like Avengers Endgame, which earned almost $3 billion, and Spider-Man No Way Home, which took down Avatar by becoming the third highest grossing domestic release in history. But how does that translate to the small screen, specifically streamers and networks looking to cash in on that ubiquitous desire to watch the good fight, the evil, and ultimately save or not save the universe? Well, I'd say it translates pretty well. In what many consider to be the golden age of television, superhero series reign supreme. And I mean, how could they not? When a series contains most of the desirable elements of a film, only there's more of everything. So, my peeps, let's take a closer look at some of these top contenders airing in a living room near you. These are our selections for live-action superhero TV shows. The Flash.
Record this. You have 1 minute, Flash. After that, someone dies every 60 seconds. Until you surrender what's mine.
I have to stop him. Wait, Barry. What? Look, I know you want to do this, but you don't have a lot of speed, okay?
Flying in first is The Flash, a drama series based on characters from DC Comics. Now, this incarnation details the origin story of Barry Allen, who first appeared in the comic anthology Showcase back in 1956. Allen's journey to The Flash began at age 11 when his mother died in a freak accident and his father was wrongly convicted of her murder. This inspired him to become a crime scene investigator dedicated to learning the truth about his mother's death by following up on every new scientific advancement and urban legend. When his latest obsession, a particle accelerator, explodes, it causes a freak storm and Allen is struck by lightning. 9 months later, he awakes from a coma with the power of super speed, but soon learns that others have gained similar powers and are using them for evil. Allen's new mission is to protect the innocent at all costs while not losing sight of the older mystery that still haunts him. Allen's character was a reinvention of the original Flash, Jay Garrick, but for this series, there is a point in a later season where Garrick and Allen actually coexist, which plays into the multiverse theory, but I'll spare you of any serious spoilers.
Now, Flash!
They cross streams.
Now, The Flash was developed by Greg Berlanti, who just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Andrew Kreisberg, and Jeff Johns, and it stars Grant Gustin, Candace Patton, and Danielle Panabaker. Now, the series premiered in October 2014 on the CW network, where it has remained for 8 seasons and 162 episodes. Rolling Stone wrote that, quote, like Arrow, this series nails the feel of a vintage comic book without being cheesy or cheap. And the LA Times called the show a, quote, effervescent and super engaging addition to television's increasingly grim comic book wars. The Flash has been renewed for a 9th season, set to air in October of this year, and if only we could flash forward to that. Legion.
I was there.
Yes, you were the man in the car at the hospital.
Okay, so I'm clear. You're saying after you entered the body of a woman and escaped from a mental hospital where all the patients had magically been sealed inside of their rooms, you think you saw me getting out of a car?
Legion was created by Noah Hawley, the man behind the popular crime drama Fargo. Now, Hawley has been interested in creating a superhero show for some time and settled on Marvel's David Haller, aka Legion, because of the character's mental illness and the potential to depict and deconstruct his unique mindset. Now, in the series, Haller is diagnosed with schizophrenia and gets shuffled from one psychiatric institution to the next. In his early 30s, he falls in love with a troubled fellow patient named Sid, and after a startling encounter with her, he must confront the shocking possibility that the voices and visions in his head might actually be real. Now, with the help of Sid and a team of powerful specialists, David unlocks a startling truth that he's been tormented his entire life by an evil parasite with unimaginable power. Now, Haller is played by Dan Stevens, a role that required the skillful balancing of many personalities. Stevens is nuanced in his portrayal, at times compassionate and optimistic, and other times openly battling the inner demons that inhabit his character's broken psyche.
Daddy, is that you?
Now, it's fair to say that no superhero series has ever addressed the issues of mental health so delicately and with such impact. at least until Moon Knight. Legion premiered on FX in February of 2017, where it ran for 3 seasons and 27 episodes. Reviews remained positive throughout the entire run of the show, with The Guardian writing that, quote, "As superhero TV reaches critical mass, Hawley has helped the genre take a necessary evolutionary leap, mutating it into something refreshingly sophisticated and artful." Though fans and critics were unpleasantly surprised by the show's cancellation, Hawley stated that a 3-season arc was what he had planned for Legion from the very beginning, adding that he, quote, "thinks endings are what give stories meanings." And in a world where superhero stories seem to go on like literally forever, there's something poetic about Legion's short lifespan. Marvel's Jessica Jones.
Back forever, it's not you. Count it out.
Is this the hold you used to kill Nathan?
Melissa Rosenberg created Marvel's Jessica Jones, which premiered on Netflix in November of 2015. It chronicles the life of one of Marvel's darkest and most mysterious characters. You guessed it, Jessica Jones. What gave it away? When a tragedy puts an end to Jessica's short-lived superhero career, she settles in New York City and opens Alias Investigations, her own detective agency. Now, despite wanting to do good, Jessica suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, and when she isn't focused on saving the world, she struggles with the not-so-basics of being human. Don't we all? Kristen Ritter stars in the lead role, a character she herself has described as very rough around the edges and dry and sarcastic, but at her core, a good person. Rosenberg started developing Jessica Jones back in 2010, collaborating with Marvel Television and planning to air a first season in 2011 on ABC. But unfortunately, the network actually ended up passing on the series at the time, citing creative differences and a desire to make a show that featured Jones as more of a side character. After years of further development and a page-one do-over, Rosenberg was able to finally make the show that she had envisioned. Produced by Marvel Television, ABC Studios, and her own company, Tall Girls Productions. That makes me feel really short. The series ran for a total of 3 seasons, 39 episodes, and received numerous accolades, including a Peabody Award, a Hugo Award, and a Primetime Creative Arts Emmy. Additionally, it received universal praise, with Sight and Sound writing that the show, quote, "has proved to be a game changer when it comes to superheroes, anti-heroes, and survivor narratives," and, quote, "the rest of the industry will need to up its game accordingly." Marvel's Jessica Jones was canceled, sadly, in 2019 due to high production costs and insufficient viewership numbers, which is a total bummer, but all episodes are currently streaming on Disney+, so that's a plus. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Taking place after the events of Avengers Endgame, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a miniseries that premiered on Disney Plus in March of 2021. It was the second television series in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it features the characters Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, and Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. Now, the mismatched duo team up for a global adventure, one that will test their survival skills as well as their patience. Anthony Mackie stars as Falcon, a role that he wasn't so sure about portraying in this format. When he first got the call from executives at Marvel Studios, he figured that he was either getting the best news of his life or getting fired. But the last thing he expected was for Marvel to say, "Hey, we're gonna do a TV show." Mackie was fearful of the difficulties that could arise when translating the Marvel brand to TV, but he accepted the role and brought an unrivaled depth and emotion to the television version of the character. Now, creator Malcolm Spellman was one of several writers who were asked to pitch a series that focused on these two characters. Executive producer and Marvel president Kevin Feige believed that the MCU films hadn't explored Falcon and the Winter Soldier enough, especially after their dynamic in the Captain America movies received such a positive audience response. Now, The Falcon and Winter Soldier ran for 6 episodes and was met with a positive critical reception. The Atlantic wrote that the show's, quote, commitment to the overarching theme of American heroes and the danger of exceptionalism has been unwavering. Additionally, the series was nominated for 5 Emmys, including Outstanding Special Visual Effects and Outstanding Stunt Coordination. DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
That's our move. They stole our move.
Enjoy your free will, legends!
Legends of Tomorrow premiered on the CW, joining the spectacular superhero company of Arrow and The Flash. Now, the series follows the time-traveling Rip Hunter, who, after seeing what doom the future holds, brings together a ragtag team of divergent talents with the common goal of preventing supervillains from destroying time itself. No big deal. Now, the ensemble cast includes Victor Garber, Brandon Ruth, Katie Lotz, and many others. Back in 2015, co-creator Greg Berlanti stated that there were, quote, preliminary talks about a superhero team-up show on the CW, featuring characters from both Arrow and The Flash.
Well, I recognize your influence. I shall disarm our foe.
Want to test that reincarnation you keep going on about?
Oh, hey, Gray! We might need Firestorm in here!
Try me again. I don't need the old man to make you regret it, bruh.
And I thought the ship was a mess when I got there.
Now, the potential for crossovers and DC Universe expansion was massive. And by the end of 2015, the CW gave the project a straight-to-series order. Now, since the show's premiere in January of 2016, each of the 7 seasons have become more unpredictable and exciting. And having a premise that revolves around time traveling has allowed for endless possibilities, especially when it comes to characters and scenarios. In one episode, a young Barack Obama finds himself in the crosshairs of the supervillain Gorilla Grodd. I mean, yes, you heard that right. But anyways, the point is that the show is always wild. Legends of Tomorrow has received several Saturn and Teen Choice Award nominations and has been praised for its, quote, fun character dynamics, fancy effects, comic book nostalgia, and adventurous plots. Did I mention there's an episode where Barack Obama gets attacked by a giant gorilla? I think I did. Hawkeye. Jonathan Igla created and produced Hawkeye, a Disney Plus series that, similar to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. It features the characters Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, and Kate Bishop, aka also known as Hawkeye. Now, I know, it's somewhat confusing if you haven't seen the show, but just to clarify, the two aren't related by blood, but they both pick up the Hawkeye moniker at some point in their lives. Now, Clint is more of a friend and mentor to the younger Kate, though their relationship is a bit more complex in the comic book versions. Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld co-star in the lead roles, with Rice Thomas and Burt and Birdie directing. Now, the series is set in New York City during the holiday season, my favorite, where Barton is focused on spending Christmas with his family after having lost them during the blip.
Go, let's go! Come on! Come on! How many we got? What? No! Get in front of him! Get in front of him!
Barton's family-oriented arc represents a shift in power and responsibility when it comes to being Hawkeye. Now, the first 2 episodes are way more focused on Bishop's journey and her eagerness to utilize her archery and martial arts skills in the name of fighting evil. It plays like a passing of the torch from master to apprentice. The show is part of Phase 4 of the MCU and premiered in November of 2021, running for a total of 6 episodes. The Independent called Hawkeye, quote, a perfectly serviceable action romp, and the New York Times poignantly summarized the central character dynamics, stating that, quote, Steinfeld and Renner are good foils for each other as Bishop pushes Barton to relax and he tends to her like a fussy aunt. Peacemaker. Next up is is Peacemaker. This show is a James Gunn creation based on characters from DC Comics. It premiered on HBO Max in January of 2022 and is the first series in the DC Extended Universe. Now, set just after the events of the Suicide Squad, the series follows Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, a man who fights for peace at any cost, no matter how many people he has to kill to get it. Now, Peacemaker first appeared in the Charlton Comics issue Fightin' 5 back in 1966. Many of Charlton Comics' superhero characters, including this one, were later acquired by DC and incorporated into their main superhero line. Gunn began writing this spin-off series while completing work on the Suicide Squad, something that he admitted he wanted to do, quote, just for fun. While contemplating various platforms that could host the show, HBO Max proved to be the best option, mostly because they were a relatively new streaming service and they'd be willing to give Gunn the budget that he wanted.
Any questions? Yeah, kid with the sad eyes.
You said the Blackheart Ruby weighed 30 pounds.
Yes.
And Kite Man was riding a kite?
That's right.
Wouldn't he have crashed anyway due to gravity?
Now, in September of 2020, HBO Max ordered Peacemaker straight to series, with Gunn writing all 8 episodes of the first season and directing 5 of them. John Cena reprised the lead role, and Daniel Brooks co-stars as Leota Adebayo. Peacemaker has received rave reviews and very strong viewership numbers. Consequence wrote that thanks to the strength of the ensemble, along with some of the wildest action sequences seen in recent memory, the series does deliver a lot of joy, along with the continued reminder that Gunn's work as a storyteller continues to get better and better. A second season has been ordered, which Gunn is set to write and direct all episodes. Loki. The God of Mischief brings all his trickery to Disney Plus in the series Loki, created by Michael Waldron. Now, taking place after the events of Endgame, Loki steps out of his brother's shadow to embark on an adventure, traveling through time to keep his own existence from being erased and ultimately stopping a much greater threat. With Gugu Mbatha-Raw and Wunmi Mosaku co-starring. Loki is the 3rd television series in Phase 4 of the MCU and introduces the Time Variance Authority, or TVA, an organization tasked with monitoring the many timelines of the multiverse. You know, it's a hard job, and it's about time someone did that. I mean, things have really been getting out of hand with all these timelines and universes. Someone had to say it.
I'm sorry, who's us?
Last chance variant.
It's been a very long day, and I think I've had my fill of idiots in armored suits telling me what to do, so if you don't mind, this is actually your last chance. Now get out of my way.
Waldron felt that having the TVA as a central component of the show would actually be fun because it made the miracle of time travel more soulless and bureaucratic. Additionally, Waldron felt that it was important to hash out the details of how time travel works at the TVA in order for the audience to easily grasp the concept. But on a deeper level, the TVA actually helped Loki to confront who he is and who he's meant to be. Season 1 premiered in June of 2021 and consisted of 6 episodes, and the series has been praised for its visuals, performances, and musical score. The Guardian wrote that Loki, quote, leans more enthusiastically into the time-hopping adventure aspect, as it surely must, and that viewers will begin to have almost as good a time as Hiddleston and Wilson clearly are. That's Owen Wilson they're talking about, just to clarify. The Boys.
No, that's true. I got excited, I'm sorry.
I'm sure you are.
You know the drill. He shot at us first.
Atta girl.
This next series asks a very important question. What happens when instead of fighting for the good of humanity, superheroes go rogue and start abusing their powers? In The Boys, an eponymous team of vigilantes head out on a heroic quest to take down a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that manages superheroes and covers up their dirty secrets. Now, the boys fight to expose the Seven, a powerful group of shallow celebrity figures who commit horrendous crimes in secret. Now, the Seven were founded by and work for Vought International, a company just oozing with evil. Though somehow the general public doesn't seem to have any awareness of that evil, just wanted to point that out. Now, The Boys was developed by Eric Kripke, who rose to prominence as the creator of the wildly popular CW drama Supernatural, which aired for 15 seasons.
that guy in the car? Who was he? He put you up to this?
I don't know. He was just some Uber driver,
Don't
okay?
give me some Uber driver. Why'd you put in the bug?
Kripke based the boys on the comic book of the same name, which was originally published by DC Comics under their Wildstorm imprint, before eventually moving to Dynamite Entertainment. Now, as far back as 2008, a film adaptation of the boys comic series had been discussed, with Columbia and Paramount Pictures interested. And it wasn't until 2016 that Kripke began developing the boys as a series set for release on Cinemax. Eventually, Amazon Prime Video signed on, and the first season premiered in July of 2019. The Boys was nominated for numerous awards, including an Emmy for Outstanding Sound Editing. And additionally, the show received unanimous critical praise, with IndieWire writing that it, quote, gets so many parts right, like the skilled stunt work and expertly staged action scenes. Other critics also mentioned the humor, storylines, and performances from that impressive ensemble cast. WandaVision.
You're not my neighbor. And you're definitely not my friend. You're an outsider. And right now you are trespassing here. And I want you to leave.
Last but certainly not least is WandaVision, a miniseries created by Jack Schaefer for Disney+. The show is based on the Marvel Comics characters Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, and Vision, aka, well, I think actually he's only called Vision. He's kind of like Sting. Anyways, it follows Wanda and Vision, who live idealized suburban lives, but soon start to suspect that everything is not as it seems. WandaVision takes place after, you guessed it, Avengers Endgame. Now, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany reprise their roles from the film series, with Matt Shakman directing and co-producing. Fun fact, Shakman also directed an episode of The Boys. I mean, that guy knows the superheroes. The series premiered in January of 2021, the beginning of Phase 4 of the MCU, and it was universally adored and received numerous accolades, nominations, including, wait for it, 23 Emmy Award nods, taking home 3, not too shabby. The Atlantic wrote that, quote, she's not the first superhero to be affected acutely by emotional pain, yet for an MCU project, the choice to focus on Wanda's inner life is revolutionary. One might even call it WandaVisionary. Okay, I added that last part. And there you have it, our top picks for live action superhero TV shows. As always, we couldn't include every series that fits into this category, but there are plenty more episodes of RT Essentials coming at you soon, so I'm sure we'll get there. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I'm Naz Perez, and always remember, with a great series comes great responsibility. So start streaming. Bye.